right. Great rise in the moonlight. Beloveds, you know who this is, and you know what this is by now. You should. Okay, I'll say that. This girl, Queen Goddess, the King Advocate. It is Melanated Monday. I hope you all have had a beautiful, productive day, week. I'm glad that you are here. Hopefully, what's going on, sister? Yeah, my sister. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, dear. I appreciate you. Hopefully, you all will be edified by tonight's walk show. It's been, whenever I go live, it's because I'm being instructed, right? I try not to, I'll put it that way, speak from my own thought. If it's my feeling, I will express that. But most of the time when I come on here, it's because there is a particular mission, there's a particular purpose for what I'm saying. I do understand that a lot of the things that I say, or even the way that I say them, people get offended. They get their feelings hurt. They misunderstand. They log off. Whatever, they say what they say, and they're gonna do what they do. I can't care, and I don't say that from a place of hate or ill nothing. It is what it is. It's got to come out the way that it comes out, because that's the way I'm created. Okay, I'm created a certain way to deliver messages the way they come out. So that's that. So what's going on, family? Those of you who just showed up, I see you. Muhammad Shabazz, thank you, loved one, for showing up. I appreciate you. Patricia Gowans, what's going on, sister? Appreciate you for being here as well. And like I said, Missy, I always love you. Appreciate you for being here. And for anyone else who is coming in, or if I don't see you, I appreciate you for being here. I'm not sure tonight how long this show will be. I will definitely open up the phone lines. Little John is in the building. Mr. Little John, let me correct myself. What's going on, KJ? Thank you for being here, loved one. I appreciate you. But I will open the phone lines tonight. If you all want to call in and express your thoughts, have a question, comment, or concern, feel free to do that. If you want to share this show, please do that. Like I said, I know it's going to shake some shit up, but that's what we do here. That's what we do. Okay. So the topic, there was basically, it's kind of like two topics as it was posted. One of the questions is, who do you say I am? Is one of the questions. And then it shows a spiritual blindness and deafness. These things are also kind of tying into what we talked about last week, part of what we talked about last week, which was reparations. We're not talking about reparations in that way tonight, but I just want you to see how things connect, because we got a lot of unlearning to do and a lot of remembering to do, because there's some changes that have to occur that only we can do. And in order to do those things, we have to know the steps. We have to be given the information. We got to be given the tools, reminded of them, be shown how to use them, whatever the case is, because there's a major calling upon us in particular. And if we don't get it together, history is going to repeat itself yet again. I don't know how many times we've been here, but we've been here before. Okay. We got to stop this. It's time to move forward and not keep going in cycles. So, having said all of that, I appreciate you all for being here. Calvin, I see you, loved one. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. I think Miss Carla showed up too somewhere. So, Miss Carla, wherever you are, girl, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. So, deafness is a priority. I'm gonna take that as a joke, okay? But let's go ahead and get started. So again, it was put on my soul, if you will, to address us. And I say in referencing last week's conversation, we talked about, one of the things we talked about was our identity, why we're not receiving certain things. When we were talking about reparations, why we're not getting it, and some of it being based on what we have allowed ourselves to be called. Not even just that, but what we continue to call ourselves, how we have classified ourselves. The definition of people and nation and of a person, we went through all of those. If you missed it, please just go back and watch it. But those things have a direct connection to why we are not where we need to be. And I mentioned also in regards to who we are, the name that we call ourselves also goes into the name that we recognize as what we serve. So let's get into that. Racine, I see you, cousin. Thank you for being here. And I appreciate you. Kevin says we hear, but not, that's the fact. We hear, but don't listen. That's it right there. So if I'm all over the place today, I won't say forgive me, but just be patient. I'll do that. The thoughts were given not necessarily in order. They were just given. So be patient. Moni Q. Hey, love. Thanks for being here, love. I appreciate you. So the first thing I was led to discuss as far as our identity, how we were created, right? This is not a religious study. As it is written, we were created in the image and likeness of God. Okay? As it's written, can't nobody argue that. We were created in the image and likeness of God. The part that we tend to miss is it says female or male and female. Male and female. Masculine and feminine, right? We can't forget those things. But we are constantly living, reciting, holding on to the standard, the language, the teachings that when we refer to God, that we refer to God solely in masculine form. But as it is written, God is masculine and feminine. That is masculine and feminine. Okay, these are energies. Notice I didn't say male and female because those are assigned to gender. Masculine and feminine refer to the energies, okay, that are created. There's a balance in it. So for us to be taught continuously that God is masculine is a falsehood. Now, I know I'm finna lose some folk. I know I'm finna piss some folk off. I know somebody finna jump the hell off my channel. I know this. I'm already prepared. The door is open for you to do just that because I'm not going to retract what's being given to me to speak to you. Okay? What is. If you're offended by the truth, you can please and thank you remove yourself from this here channel or this here channel because I'm going to give it to you. That's that. So anyway, so when it comes down to, again, how we're taught to receive, to speak on, to reverence God in only masculine form, there's an imbalance in that because Again, created in the image and likeness of God, masculine and feminine, God created us, which means God is masculine and feminine. Okay. So to leave one out means there is an imbalance. If there is an imbalance, that means there is a falsehood. Something is not completely accurate. That means there is a lie in it somewhere. Okay. Somewhere there's a lie. I see you, Miss Carla. Thank you, love. Appreciate you. We have to consider the fact that there are, in gender form now, male and female. I'm not even talking about what anybody else may define themselves as, okay? There is male and female. So when you speak of God as a feminine, you have to acknowledge that when you hear your, let me slow down. When there's a voice inside of you that's speaking to you, woman, let me talk to you, woman. When your instinct says, when your feelings say, when your gut says, when you heard this voice inside of you say, whatever it says, what sound do you hear? What voice do you hear? How does it come across? Because in order for you to relate to it, to listen to it, you have to be able to hear it, feel it, and recognize it. When you speak out loud, you hear your voice, right? So if something is being said to you, that means you have to hear the sound of it. There's a frequency, there's a vibration. You have to hear the sound of it. And because nothing else is around you, you hear it internally. It's being said to you. In what form is it being presented? Man, speaking just to you. When you hear a voice inside of you say anything, give you a direction, whatever it is, and there's no one else around you, you hear it. What sound do you hear? How do you receive that? What is the vibration of that? It sounds like your voice. It sounds like you. Most High said, I am, and I'm always paraphrasing, God is within us. God is within us. So as a man, you're going to hear God the way you would hear yourself. You're going to hear him in masculine form. As a woman, you're going to hear God in feminine form. There is no separation. It's still God. You understand? Like I said, we're so caught up in accepting it that God is just masculine and that's it. So the other part of that, here's where the problems start to unfold. G Walker, I see you, loved one. Here's where the problems start to unfold. Being told, and I understand how things are written. Keep in mind, okay, written literature was not always available. Okay. Everything was not written down. We didn't have paper and pen and typewriters and computers and gadgets way back when. Okay. Information that was given to us was given. It was a download. We overstood it. We were connected to the spirit. There was a different type of communication. We communicated with the earth. You know what I'm saying? We were in nature. We knew innately what to do, how to do it, when to do it, and why. We were given universal elements to listen to watch for, to follow, to be, used as a guide. We already knew that. So understanding the fact that things that have been written down have been changed, they have been altered, they have been tampered with, they have been added to, and they have been taken away. So everything that's written down is not correct. It's not correct. What you hear innately from the God that's in you is the fact. Period. You can't change that. That is the voice of the Most High. How it sounds to you in righteousness is the voice of the Most High. I'm not going to hear a masculine sound in my spirit because I'm not masculine. Now, I may have some masculine ways at times, but I'm not masculine. A man is going to hear it in masculine form. A woman is going to hear it in feminine form. It's still the same God. Don't start no stuff. Now we going there. Okay, we going there. If you ain't look, I go there. So you knew. If you not ready, loved one, and I appreciate you for showing up. Let me put my disclosure out. The old ones, y'all know what I do here. The new ones, I don't deal with feelings. Okay, so if you are under the impression, or if you are sensitive and your feelings get hurt, get off. And I'm saying that in love, because I give information, and it's just that. I love people on purpose, with purpose, which means I'm giving you what you need. It may not be what you want, but I'm gonna give you what you need. I'm gonna give you the information. You do with it what you want. So if I say something and your feelings get hurt, you got a decision to make. Either you're gonna F them feelings and listen to the information, or you make a left. That's my disclosure. My folks know how I work. Okay. So as far as your question or your statement is concerned, you will find some discrepancies. That's all I'm gonna say. This is not a Bible study, but you will find some discrepancies. Those things that are written down for the purpose, for an agenda, for something. They benefit somebody. Okay. There is a reason for everything. Veronica and Melissa, I see you both. Thank you, love, for being here. Loves for being here. I appreciate you. So again, we're going back to the problem with accepting that the Most High is just one energy, that is just masculine. Since we're taught that the Most High is a masculine, then we will praise and worship, if you will, the masculine. In that, we're also taught that, and from that, the masculine God looks a certain way. So we're being taught that the image of God, first of all, is male, but then we go to churches, or we see images being presented as God. So we're being taught that God is a masculine, unmelanated man. This is what we're being taught. This is how we perceive God. So if this is your understanding of what God is, or how God presents, how God moves, whatever, if that's your understanding, then you will always be understanding. You won't get an overstanding, because you have missed the understanding of the truth, because you've gotten used to accepting what's been constantly told, what's been constantly shown, what's been embedded. Like, this is something that we've grown up with these thoughts. We've grown up with this. Well, God is a man. It's God the Father. It's God the Son. It's God the Holy Spirit. It's God the man, masculine. It's God, because that's what's written, because that's what we're told. And I know I'm getting a phone call. I already know. This is what we're told continuously. What about the feminine part of God, though? Why does she get ignored? Why is she being left out when she is the mother of? Do we need to keep going right there? She gives birth to. I'm trying to understand. I'm sorry. I'm trying to understand where we've gotten our disconnect. Well, I know where we got it. History, books, not communicating, being disconnected from the Most High, being disobedient, all of that stuff. It's because of our disobedience to righteousness, to the God. Okay, it's because of that that we are able to be manipulated, that we are able to be bamboozled, led astray, all of that stuff, controlled. We're able to be put into slavery. We're able to be blinded and deafened because we have chosen to not listen to the righteous inner truth. We have chosen to walk away from our connecting source. We have done this and we continue to do this. This is why we keep having problems, why we're not getting what we think we're supposed to have. And we probably are supposed to have it. But because we have forgotten, and I'm saying forgotten, not known, we have forgotten who we are, then we're being told who we are and who God is, or what God is, and what the expectation is. But if you're telling me that God is this masculine, unmelanated male, then that naturally, and I should say naturally, leaves me disconnected from the God that's in me, because I don't look like that. That doesn't resemble me at all. I can't relate to that. So when we're having issues with our masculine brothers and sisters, we're having an issue with us, is because we can't see us for real. We're not looking, we don't see the God that's in us for real, because we're taught to look outside. We're taught to look up instead of look in. This is the problem. She ain't out there unless that's where you're at. He and she and they, we and us are right here. We in here. If we don't start again claiming our true identity based on our creation, we will continue to live in a cycle of history. This is going to happen again and again. We're going to keep ending up right here. This is not the first time we've been here. History repeats itself because the mind frame, the state of mind, the healthiness or the sickness of the mind of the people doesn't change. We're passing these mental, spiritual, emotional, psychological illnesses down generation to generation to generation, hence the curses. We're passing them down because we're not making decisions to do anything differently, because we're taught that, well, what you've been told for 1,000 years, this is the fact. It is not. It is not. Question everything. And see, even in that, people will tell you, you're not supposed to question God. Why? Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you seek answers from something, from the being one that is within you? Why would you not seek answers in order to obtain and to get in the position to be the God that you were created as? And I'm saying God, lower G's, okay? All due respect to the Most High. Can't take away the fact. It is not 100% correct, because it has been tampered with. I remember when Pope John Paul II was still alive and doing his thing. He made mention on the news. I remember this so clearly because I don't even watch the news, but this particular day, I watched the news. And he made mention that they were making changes to the Bible to fit whatever the situation, the times, the circumstances, they were making changes to the Bible. How is that so? How do you change what you claim to be the word of God, the Most High? How do you take some white out and say, I don't like what you said right here, so I'm going to make it say something different? And then that's going to be law. This is what I'm going to tell the people. Because I'm sure even in this Bible, right, it says, thou shalt not add to, and I'm not quoting it, but you shall not add to nor take away from it. And anybody that does that is going to suffer the consequences, because what happens is people are now so trusting of what is being read, what's in this book, because it's all over the world. It's being taught all over the world. It can't be wrong. It's got to be the absolute truth, fact, no mistakes whatsoever from the beginning to the end to the beginning. Come on, stop it. It's got to be. So I'm not going to question anything. It's got to be the absolute truth. It is not. It is not. We know what the absolute truth is. We know it because it was given. It's in us. It's a natural download. It's in our DNA. Why do you think that we are such a, what's the word that I want to use? What's the word? Threatening people. Why are we so targeted in all of history? Why is it us? What is it about these people that got the world shook? What is it about us that make the world want to take us out? That make the world want to cause us not to know who we are? What is it? Think. I'm just here to make you think. I just want to provoke your thought. I know you don't feel good in this conversation, and I'm so glad, because I'm not catering to your feelings. I'm giving you the information necessary for you to think. Look at everything that's going on. Look at everything that has gone on. We have been spiritually blinded, spiritually deafened by what we have been led to believe is a truth that was written, erased, and rewritten and handed to us. Go with that. Our language has been changed. Our lands have been taken. Our identity is unknown. Our language is misunderstood. All of these things are happening to us, and they have been continuously. Do you not pay attention to everything? The history of all of these people that have the same type of physical description? Pay attention. Get out of the mind of your adversaries. Get out of the mind of the nation that we're in. This is why we keep losing. Be ye in the world, but not of the world. It's a reason for that. It's a reason that we have been separated. It's a reason for that. It's a reason why you don't grow weeds and seeds in the same place. It's a reason for that. They're not supposed to intertwine. But we have fought for so long and continue to fight for so long to be together. We want to be meshed together. We want to be one. How? How can we even have the thought of being one with someone else, somebody else, another nation, whatever, when we don't even know what piece we are? What part do we play? Who are we anyway? And if we unite, what does that create? All I'm saying is that we need to think and remember, not be taught, but remember. The word remember means put it back together. Members, again, put it together. Put it back together. We've disconnected. And because of the disconnection, we can be led any type of way. Phone lines are open if you'd like to call. 770-906-5271. 770-906-5271. I made mention last week also, that it's not so much about what people call you, but what you answer to. What name are you answering to? And if you think that's not important, if something is being given to you, something has been written for you, there is an award or reward for this person who has this name, and you've been used to being called by your surname or your nickname, a name that was assigned to you by somebody who also has an assigned name, but that which is being given to you has your natural name on it. You're not going to get that because you don't even recognize the name by which you are being called. That's your true name. See, these other names that we go by, these surnames that we know each other as, these names hide the true identity of who we are. It hides the true identity of who we are. We got a caller. G. Walker, what's going on, loved one?
How you doing?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm still kind of in limbo. I don't know if you saw my last speech that I gave. I talked on that very thing about God, about the the aspects of God. I don't know if you paid attention to that, but the bottom line is, let me just say it from the humanistic aspect, and let me say it from finish with the spiritual aspect. The bottom line is, God. The reason that we're here as male and female, because God said, "Let male be male and male and female." God saw that with Adam, when Adam had named all of the beasts and all of the wilderness, he said it was not good that man should be alone, because he saw every bull had a cow, every animal had male animal had a female too. Then he went out. There's specifics. He went out and said, "Let man." When it's a blessing that a man finds a wife. Then once he finds a wife, it's an order to God. Again, the order. Then once he goes out, God put that in man to in his loins to reproduce, and the only way was through that he could see his reproduction come to pass is through the woman. So that would mean that they would need one another. He knew what he's doing. He don't make no mistakes. He's God, and he can't need to change if not. For man, God made man. The bottom line is, what the main problem is for a lot of people, they don't read for themselves. Like you touched in Revelation, I can go from scripture to scripture, line to line, precept to precept, because I lived it. The bottom line is, I know what man has done is try to alter or change God's word. But see, people don't know that because they haven't studied for themselves. That's why the word says study to show thyself approved. And a lot of people talk out of ignorance and talk about stuff that they don't know because they haven't lived it, and they haven't lived it for yourself. So in that aspect, I do agree with you. But God is a God of spirit. He used to be worshipped in truth and spirit. And the reason he be worshipped in truth and spirit, because God is a spirit. Now, I don't want to touch on whether, this and that. It says, Jesus said, I and the Father are the same. My Father, which art in heaven. My Father, because he is he's a spirit. And now, those that get to heaven, those that receive Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior and serve God and live for God, those that see heaven, there ain't gonna be no male or female, because there are no male and female, because there's no need of it, because God is the Father. Period. There ain't no male and female. He's to be worshipped in truth and spirit, because God is the spirit. Inside of you is the spirit. Well, again, your cousins and them, main problem ain't about what's not in what's not in the Bible. It's what's in the Bible. Because if you read, I can go line per line in Psalms, it tells you the very inspiration of the Bible is written by God. So he knows that he already covered that in Revelation when he said, like you said earlier, and I'm gonna set up after that. The bottom line is, he said, those that add into the word, the punishment should be added to the word. And those that take away, the name should be take away from the book of life. But the bottom line is, there's still enough word. There's still more than enough word for anybody, everybody who may come to live a glorious life, to live a wonderful life, to live a prosperous life in every aspect of the word. If you just learn the word for yourself, I can't go by what somebody else told me. I didn't go by what somebody else told me. I didn't go by what somebody else was trying to get me to see. I had to see for myself. Study that so that I self-approve. And that's what he said, my people perish for lack of knowledge. My people, male and female, they were leaders. Like they were leaders. Like there were other leaders, female leaders that he had. But he said, this is my son who I am well pleased. And God has said, I am God and I change it not. Now for us as humans, from the human aspect, yes, we have male and female. But for God, when it comes to his spirit in truth. There is no male and female when it comes to him in the spirit. But since we in this male and female, when he talks to, he said, I'm God, I change it not. The same way I'll talk to you in your level of understanding. If your level of understanding is level 1, I'll meet you right there. But he said, I'm earth. And then when you get on this earth, and you learn and you make yourself, whatever your level of understanding, that's where he's going to meet you at. Now it's up to you to receive it or to deny it. But know this in this day, that there is no excuse. Because the word, when his prophets, his apostles went out, he said, write this down. And he told them to write it down. And behold, see, let me tell you about the ignorance of your cousin. Because there were things that were known. The Old Testament is known. The New Testament, there are things that were going on in the New Testament that written in the New Testament that actually was going on in the Old Testament. But you know why your cousins don't know? Because again, they want READ.
Understand.
See,
look here.
That's what I want to say about that.
Right, because you you get hyped. I'm not mad at your passion. Okay. And I'm not.
But God can meet you in your spirit, like I said, your spirit, man. He gonna meet you where your level of understanding is. He gonna meet the other person where their level of understanding is. But study to show thyself approved. Okay. If you don't study, then how you gonna know? I ain't sitting up here waiting on no man to tell me you got a heartbeat. My blood pressure is a whole lot lower than
well, look, keep it low. Keep it low. Because you get hyped.
I take it personal.
Yeah, but don't take it personal. We don't do personal here.
Like that.
Yeah, just chillax.
When you experience the goodness of God, you take it personal like Peter.
Understand. Look, G, look here. Let me get you off this phone. Here.
Yes, ma'am. I just want to call in to separate. Anytime you want to speak about that,
I got you, love. I appreciate you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, man.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, honey. I'll talk to you later. Love. Uh-oh. Sorry about that. That's my boy. He going in. But, y'all understand what I'm saying. I'm not taking nothing away from G. What we also have to, this is what we have to keep in mind also. What happens, and I'm not taking anything away from reading and studying and showing thyself approved, but what about those who cannot? What about those who cannot read? What about those who are blind? What about those who are deaf? Literally, physically in those positions where they can't get it, right? They can't see it. They can't hear it outside of themselves. That means that word The truth of that word, the truth of the being of the Most High has got to be in them. They got to be able to receive it some kind of way, right? So it's not going to be outside of themselves. It's got to be internalized first because there's no other way to receive it. I'm going to read these comments because there are many, and I apologize for not going through them earlier. Indeed, G. Indeed, G. And thank you for being here, Gio. Miss Carla says, I feel that as an older person, it is my responsibility to school our younger generation about how society values has taught us on false information only to control the mass group for money, power, and to keep their superior falsehood complex in this world. Absolutely. Now that is a fact. Absolutely. What's going on, DJ? I see you, Sister Luke Cage. I see you, love. Appreciate you being here. And Veronica, I appreciate you always for being here, loved one. Anthony, what's going on, love? I appreciate you. And you say religion is sold and manipulation is real. Absolutely. Brother Muhammad says we should question everything, not just believe everything someone says or put into a book. We are closer to the Almighty, so they know once we get right back with Him, we will then understand who we are. Absolutely. Absolutely. He said, tell them we have to know who we were created to be, not who they tell us we are in order. Not who they tell us we are in order to benefit them. Absolutely. This is what I'm saying. Interpretation is everything. Indeed. Indeed. Mental slavery is real. Kevin, would you say soft bites of the Lord? All right. It is most definitely easy to be tricked. And it's not so much just about reading, because you can read and not understand. You can read and not comprehend what it is you're reading. I know, and I'm speaking for myself. It's been many times I have read a book all the way through and asked me what it's about. We're going straight to the summary because I don't even know. I didn't take in nothing. And that's real talk. Misty says, indeed, because I always refer to God as he, him, his. Right. Leave the Bible out of this fam. Right. I'm tuning in, just listening. Much love. Much love, Marvin. I appreciate you, love, for being here. Hopefully you are being edified by something. I said, I don't get on here to make people accept what I'm saying. When it's my opinion, I say that, right? These are my thoughts. This is what my understanding is. When I'm usually, when I'm speaking out what's being given to me to say to you out loud, because I wasn't gonna do a show tonight. I didn't feel that way. Oh, doing? Oh, okay, bet. All right, let's do this then. So that's that. Melissa, thank you for being here, loved one. I appreciate you. Muhammad says, like you said, everything that is written is not the absolute truth. That is facts. Absolutely. Some not ready for the. Oh, we know that. Most not. Kevin says, God is holy. We are not rules to control their investment. Yep. Sorry. But people, tend to get really sensitive. That's why I made the note in the comments or in the description that this subject is going to be sensitive for a lot of people because of what we've been taught forever. It becomes difficult to not taken away from anybody's experience. This is not about that. Okay, anybody's personal experience. It's got nothing to do with that. What you accept and what works for you, that's what it is. Okay, there's no argument. What I'm saying, as a whole of us, we're not getting the downloads that we should be getting because we have disconnected, because we have joined the nations in our thoughts, in our behaviors, even in our habits. We're doing everything that is outside of who we are naturally. We got to think about those things. We got to think about how to do the things that we're taught to do. The things that you know to do naturally, they come naturally. That should tell you right off. If you got to think and practice to be something that ain't you, that you didn't know, it might be because it's not natural. I'm just saying, just my thought. Let's see, we hear, don't listen. I think I got everybody's comments. Yeah, but if anybody else wants to call in If you want to call in and say something, feel free. 770-906-5271, 770-906-5271. Simon, what's going on, loved one? You said speak up. I think I did. He said, I mean that you are saying something. Oh, bet. Thank you, love. Thank you. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. G says religion is tradition, but righteousness is a lifestyle. Absolutely. And again, that goes back into what is innate, what we already naturally know, what we have to remember. We got to put it back together. It's because of the things that we keep being taught that we forget what we already know. So we have to unlearn those things. We got to unlearn the things that we've been taught and remember what we already know. Put those things back to use. That's the whole come back to me thing. Get back to self. Get back to self. We have like surrendered the God in us. We've surrendered it. Here, you take this. God is in me, but I'm gonna let you have it. You do with it what you will, and I'm gonna follow you instead. No, that's the part that we can't keep doing. This is how we keep being in situations that we shouldn't be in, because we keep surrendering the God that's in us. We're surrendering our minds. We're surrendering our abilities. We're surrendering our identity. We've done all of that. And we've been told or understand it's been taken, but it's also been allowed to be taken because of the disobedience. We can argue this all night. G, let's see. Gio, what you say? I know I saw you say something. You say, I want to tell you something about study and show yourself approved, but I want to do it over the phone with you, and maybe you can share this information to your audience. Okay. Will do. Simon says religion is the only piece of slavery religion is the only piece of slavery that we love. What you say? That and chitterlings. You are correct. You are very correct. Okay, what else you got here? It's a lot of comments. That you read Ebony Magazine, Jet or Time Magazine, but you have to study the Bible with the inception of the Holy Spirit. If the truth is in the book, if freedom is in the book and you keep getting beat up by the book, then guess what you need to do? All right. If anybody wants to call in, please do so. Again, 770-906-5271. Again, tonight's topic, kind of multi-topic, if you will. It was spiritual blindness and deafness. And who do you say I am? So it's basically, how do you recognize God? Where is God? What is God? Who is God? If you remember that you are created in the image and likeness of the Creator, in masculine and feminine, in male and female, God created the duplication of God's self, then you cannot leave out the feminine part of God. What's going on, Kojak? Thank you for being here, loved one. I appreciate you. I said, I know this is going to throw people off. I know folks are going to be pissed or have questions, doubts, whatever. Have questions, have doubts. Do that. Because when you have questions and you have doubts, then you'll ask questions to get answers. Okay. And it's not necessarily just go to somebody else and ask the question. Just ask the question and allow yourself to be given the answer, because it'll be given to you. You understand? It's that part. We don't always have to go to another human being and seek an answer, because they may not have it. You will be given the answer to the question that you ask, but you'll also be given the answer to the question that you ask when you ask it at the time, because there's a time and a place and an order for everything. When you ask it in order, when you ask it in timely fashion, you will receive the answer. That I know for a fact. I can speak on that. I know that. You can have 100 questions. If you ask the 99th one, that might be the one you're supposed to ask first. And then it'll lead you to the answers for the rest of them. All I'm saying here, people, start questioning some things. Seek the answer. Pay attention to everything that has gone on with us and continues to happen. Do the comparison on what's being said, what's been written, and what's actually happening. What seems right, what feels, I won't say what seems right, what feels natural, what is natural versus what you have to be taught to do or learn. What is your first mind versus what you're being told to think? That kind of stuff. We can change our situations, our positions, if and when, and only if and when we change our minds. Period. There is no other way. That means you're going to have to disconnect from everything that you know. You're going to have to make yourself uncomfortable from everything that you are comfortable with in this world. And for the most part, and let's be honest, we ain't ready to do that. We're not ready to give up the comforts, the luxuries. We're not ready to do that. We don't want to disconnect that television. We don't want to have to throw that phone out. We don't want to live outside in the tents for real and live off the land. We don't want to do that. That's not convenient. We want to just go to the store, ring it up, go home, cook it, maybe, or just call Grub up, somebody, and drop that off. We don't want to do that, all that other stuff. We don't want to do it. Those behaviors, what we have now, I guess, acculturated ourselves with, is part of another nation. This is the behavior of a whole different nation. This ain't us naturally. But this is what we've accepted for us. So because this is what we have accepted for us, then we also have accepted the consequences of it. When we accept the identity that's given to us, we also accept the identity. We accept the consequences of the identity, of the definition of the identity. We accept that. Change your mind. We don't have any more time to play and sugarcoat stuff and sit back and hope, wish, and pray and just wait. Ain't nothing happening. Ain't nothing coming to you. Ain't nobody coming to save you. Period. Change your mind. Gods don't ever have to ask permission to be or to do or to change. Gods do it. Speak it. I spoke it. I thought it. I created it. I spoke it. It is done. Period. We doing way too much of stuff that is unnecessary in order for us to get what it is that we need to get. Sir. G. Walker.
Yes, ma'am. I just got posed 2 questions and I'm gone. My thing is, I know what you say. I agree with what you're saying, but my bottom line is, I got a great uncle who couldn't read, but he know the words in the Bible. There's no excuse. Again, I'm going to say the FD question. Frederick Douglass couldn't read nor write, but there's not too many places that you can go across America, and I've met a lot of people from around America and around the world, but there's not too many places you can go in America that you won't see a Frederick Douglass High School. He was a prolific speaker. He spoke before presidents. He spoke before all kinds of dignitaries, but he could not read and write, but he had determination. Everything comes from self. If you don't read, so if God, and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna shut up. If God thought that it was important to the Almighty who created all these mountains that people want to speak to and all these other things, if he thought it was important, he told man to write it down in Psalms 112. He said, write down the inspiration of the word comes from God. All of it. Now, if it been tampered with, that'll take care of it in Revelation. But if God said to write it down, then when he sent Moses out, Moses stuttered. Moses couldn't talk. Oh God, I can't talk. When he was going to tell him to tell Pharaoh to let his people go, Moses could not talk. He said, "Well, you got your servant Aaron right there. Tell him what to say, and he'll say it for you. No excuse. Go. Bye. I know you can't talk, but if you're determined to read to get something, if you're determined to have something, if you want a piece of cake, then you're going to do everything you can to get a piece of cake. Like you said, and I agree with you. People want to do stuff to be comfortable, but you're going to be uncomfortable. Because these devils going to make you uncomfortable. You can believe what you want to believe, but it's coming. And when it comes, but you got to know this also, that if that's Second Thessalonians, the people, God sent to say, I'm sending them a strong delusion. That's why these people are not reading. That's why the people are sitting here subjecting themselves. You're uncomfortable in your own uncomfortable. You're uncomfortable in your tragedy. You're uncomfortable in your despair. You're uncomfortable in all these other things that these evil people are putting on you. That's your fault. You got to bring yourself out. If you don't bring yourself out, the devil can't do nothing but come teach them powers against it. That's where you are. And where is that? I'm gone.
All right, love. Thank you. Thank you, babe.
Couldn't read all right. When you ended up being multiple one of the prolific speakers and writers and readers and studiers and books there was. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
See you later, baby.
All right, love. I love G. Walker. But he said in a much more passionate way what I just said, as far as, is going to be in you, is going to be given to you internally, because not everybody has the physical ability to read and or write or even hear. Okay, so if it's necessary for that word, for that truth to reach everybody, then a way must be made for them to get it, regardless of what the external circumstances are. Fred, what's going on, loved one? I appreciate you for being here. I've been trying to catch you, so I'm glad you are here. Hope all is well. If anyone else would like to call in before we wrap up, feel free to do so. 770-906-5271. (770-906-5271). Again, tonight's topic, kind of twofold. It's really one-fold, but it was, who do you say I am? And, spiritual blindness and deafness. And I was kind of tying it into what we talked about last week in regards to reparations, as to why they're not happening, why these things are happening to the melanated people, the so-called Black man, Black woman, why these things are happening. And it's starting with being disobedient. It's starting with being disconnected from the natural source. It's going back to who we're told, or what we're told God is, how it's connected, or that. Let me read Ms. Carla's comment. She said, when we change our minds, that things can change quicker, especially concerning the laws, treatment, and equality, living to everyone instead of only one race. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. But we have been led to believe that God is one particular description, but the description given to us has caused us to be led by falsehood, misinformation, bondage, lack, cyclical history, if you will. We've taken on the whole mindset of the God image that we were given, instead of the God being that we know. And because of that, we are still here in this state. Period. There's no arguing that. No matter how you look at it, no matter what else has been told, no matter what you may read, think, feel, whatever, that can't be argued. It is what it is. We're in it. We're in it. So, to wrap it up, if we want things to change, as Ms. Carla has stated, we must first change our minds. You have to be able to think as gods. And that is masculine and feminine. We say goddess to represent the feminine side. It's still God. God, the word God itself means mighty one. That's it. A mighty one. How are we not that? We may act contrary to that. We may speak contrary to that. We think contrary to that. But we are exactly that. We are gods. Little g, but we are gods. All right, family. If you don't have any questions, comments, or concerns, feel free, first of all, to share this video if you like. I said, I know it's going to cause some arguments and disagreements and whatever. And I'm good with that. I'm not here to please anyone. I'm here to give the information as the information is being downloaded to me. What's going on, D Mays? Thank you, love. I appreciate you. As the information is downloaded to me, I give it. That's my job. What you do with it, that's totally up to you. You all can go back and read these comments, if you will, interact with one another constantly. Appreciate you, Muhammad. You do the same. Interact with one another, communicate, exchange energies, exchange information. This is how we learn, okay? Or remember, let me correct that. This is how we remember, is communicating like we used to. Night, Q. Good night, Moni Q. This is how we remember. This is how we reestablish us as a people, us as a nation, us as the leaders, us as the head, all of that, us as a true representation of God, the big G. This is how we do that. Let's do this again. Let's do this again. If we don't, I'll see you again right here. I doubt I'm coming back, though. I ain't doing this shit. I ain't doing it. That would be an argument. I ain't doing it. Okay, D-May, what you say? What we doing for your born day? I don't know. I'm hoping that my special someone, my extra special someone, will be here. But you know, we'll see. I know when it shows up, I'm gonna show out. So you'll know. You will know. But yeah, that's it for now. So y'all know what it is. I love you. I love you on purpose. I love you with purpose. And I love you too much to care about your feelings. And y'all understand that. Y'all understand that. So I will see you all on Thursday at 8-ish. This one's going to be pretty special, so be with me. Okay, be with me on Thursday. This is a special one. Okay. And until then, peace. Peace, family. I thank you all for being here. I appreciate you. Appreciate you all. One.